I've always been a skeptic, especially when it came to ghost stories. But one night made me question everything. It happened a few years ago when I was working as a janitor at an evening school. The job was quiet. By the evening, classes ended, students left, and all I had to do was clean the empty classrooms. The school was old, built in the mid-20th century, with long hallways and creaky floors. I liked the silence and never paid much attention to its age or the legends surrounding it. That evening started like any other. I was finishing up on the third floor when I heard a strange sound. It was a child's laughter, quiet but distinct. It sent a chill down my spine. The school had been empty for hours and I was the only one there. I decided to check, thinking maybe a student had stayed behind after hours. I searched every classroom but found nothing. However, as I walked past the chemistry lab, I heard something fall. It was a loud crash, like glass shattering on the floor. I stepped inside. The room was silent, but the open cabinet of chemical supplies caught my eye. I was sure I had closed it earlier. As I reached to shut the cabinet, I heard that laughter again, this time closer. It felt like someone was standing right behind me. I spun around, but the room was empty. My nerves were starting to fray, and I decided to head down to the first floor and check the security cameras. As I walked down the hallway, the lights at the far end began to flicker and then went out completely. A cold draft swept through, even though the building's heating was always reliable. Just as I turned to glance back, the door to the chemistry lab slammed shut behind me with a loud bang. Heart pounding, I hurried downstairs. Reaching the security office, I pulled up the camera footage. At first, everything looked normal, but then I noticed something on one of the cameras aimed at the third floor. The footage showed a child slowly walking down the hallway. The child wore a school uniform, but their face was indistinct. The figure stopped right outside the chemistry lab, looked directly into the camera, and vanished. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Questions swirled in my mind. Who was that? What was that? Deciding I'd had enough, I ended my shift early and locked up the building, leaving my questions for another time. The next day, I told the security guard about what I had seen. He wasn't surprised. He said the story went back years. People claimed that a student had died in a tragic accident in the chemistry lab many years ago due to an equipment explosion. Ever since, strange occurrences had been reported, though no one took them seriously. Curious, I dug into the archives and found an old newspaper article about the accident. The boy's name was Daniel. I don't know why, but something compelled me to return to the chemistry lab that evening with flowers. I left them on the desk and said aloud that I was sorry for what had happened. After that, everything changed. The school became quiet, no more strange sounds, no shadows on the cameras. I can't explain what happened, but I'm certain of one thing. Sometimes, the past seeks a way to be heard, and kindness can be the key to its peace.